Alrighty, guys. I am just extremely happy for Alec Burks. You guys want to know how many fantasy points Alec Burks went for tonight? You guys really want to know? Alec Burks, I play him here, gets benched, only plays 18 minutes, went for 6, 2, 2, and 1. You guys want to see what he went for tonight? 23 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, a 35 fantasy point performance for Alec Burks. Let's go over my lineup from tonight. The core that I had for tonight was Kyle Lowry, Jovic, Bones Highland, Jamal Cain. Jamal Cain in a 7-man rotation plays 18 minutes. They go with Haywood Highsmith for 40 frickin' minutes. If you play Jamal Cain over Haywood Highsmith, I personally think it was the correct play. Jamal Cain is the much better basketball player, much better fantasy point producer. Haywood Highsmith is just terrible. So I think Cain was the better play at that ownership. Personally, in my opinion, but I told everyone on Discord, you wanted at least 3 Miami Heat tonight. You can play up to 5. I told everyone to load up on the Miami Heat. Pretty much all of the Miami Heat absolutely smashed. Caleb Martin had 20 fantasy points at half, or like 21 to 22 fantasy points at half. He went into overtime with 22 fantasy points. Luckily, he did well in overtime, but he had 0 fantasy points in the second half, and he played like all of the second half. Well, and Jalen Green, just absolute massive foul trouble, loses out on huge minutes. Tyrese Halliburton gets injured, just floor game from him. Bones Highland loses minutes because of the blowout. He did play some in the blowout, but I'd assume he would have fully closed. I'm not entirely sure though. I just need one slate, man, where just nothing, no bullshit happens. Like on my night slate lineup, I played Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish injured. I played Bagley. 2 fouls in 2 minutes. Instantly picks up fouls, loses out on massive minutes. I played Killian Hayes. Picks up 2 fouls in like 2 minutes. Like, bro, I just need one day where just no bullshit happens, and I'll crush. But yeah, bad night for me. Man, just if I go Highsmith over Kane, it's a really good night. Just unfortunate that a 1v1 just kills you like that. Just frustrating, man. Frustrating. But if you're from YouTube side of things, please come over to this subreddit, DFS Sports. I make posts every day, as you can see. Ask me whatever you want. I will always respond to you guys. As you can see here, I answer everybody's questions. Just a ton of you can ask me whatever. Gets a ton of comments. 450 comments today. If you ever need to get a hold of me personally, you can message me on Reddit, or you can get a hold of me on Twitter. Either or is completely fine at Tory Langley 1992. If Discord is something you are interested in, I will have a link to that down below where I'll have in-depth videos going over each slate, player pools for cash, GPPs, NBA, NFL, etc. I'll have that posted in my post on this, and I'll have that in the YouTube comments down below. So, yeah, recap today. I'm really hoping this isn't the start of a downswing, man. I had a good night the other night, and then I cashed like 5 straight days out of the hospital, but it's been a rough past like 2 out of 3 days, 3 out of 4 days. So I'm really hoping this isn't the start of a downswing. I really am. I'll have NFL stuff up. I'll have NFL stuff up tomorrow, so just be on the lookout for that. Let's go over the slate. So Orlando at Indiana, one of the best matchups in the league here for Orlando. Banchero is going to be out, so there is actually quite a bit to like here. Gary Harris, I don't expect to play. I'd assume he'd sit on a back-to-back. So, this being the case, I think Wendell Jr. at 7.6K looks like a pretty good play. Played 34 minutes tonight. I'm expecting similar minutes. It's one of the best matchups in the league. Both these teams play fast. Just nut spot for Winokur Jr. I think he looks like a solid play. I think Franz is fine. I think he's more viable on this slate, especially considering the matchup. But I prefer Bol to Franz Wagner for the discount. I think Bol might, point per dollar might be my favorite play on the Orlando Magic. Um, I just love this spot for the Magic. I think the pace are just absolutely terrible, especially defensively. They play fast. I like Bol and I like Winokur Jr. quite a bit. I think they both look like pretty good plays. Jalen Suggs has been absolutely phenomenal past 2 games. If you want to play Jalen Suggs and ride this hot streak, I definitely don't hate it. More often than not, he's probably going to play over 30 minutes. Probably plays close to 35 minutes. He's going to be their clear offensive. What's it called? What's the word? Offense generator. I don't know what the word is. Offense creator. I don't know what the word is for it. So I think Suggs is a fine play. Mo Bomb at this price tag, I think I'll pass, but he's in play. Okiki, playable value. He'll probably play close to 30 minutes with no Banchero, but he's not going to be the highest usage guy. And I think at that price tag, there really isn't a ceiling there. Like I said, I don't expect Gary Harris to play, but we'll see. If he plays, he's a playable value. And then I don't really think I'm going to anyone else. You can consider Terrence Ross if Gary Harris is out, but I don't think we need to go to those guys on this slate. And then let's go over Indiana. So I don't expect Tyrese Halliburton to play. Got injured tonight, of course, in my lineup. So we'll go over assuming he is out. Assuming he is out, there is a lot to like here for Indiana. So Miles Turner, I don't think gets a usage bump, but I'm still fine with it. Still fine with him. He'll probably get more shot attempts up. Actually, maybe he does get a little bit of a usage bump. So I think Miles Turner will look fine. I think point per dollar is not my favorite play on this team, but I think he'd be a fine play. Now, this is where things would get really, really interesting. So Buddy Hield, Mathurin are both going to get usage bumps. Both are going to get more shots up. I think both are going to get increased minutes. You could even see Mathurin start, depending on what they do. They could slide Nembhard to the point, and you could see Mathurin move into the starting lineup. But I think Buddy Hield, Mathurin are both solid plays. I think they're going to get pretty big usage bumps. Jalen Smith had a massive game tonight. He is in play for tournaments, but I think after tonight, he's going to be a little bit over-owned. This is just going to be an ownership thing for me. If he is popular, I'm probably going to stay away from him. But if he's going to be low-owned, yeah, he's definitely in play for tournaments. Minutes wise for him, they're all over the place, so you can definitely get popped. But I think anyway, he'll probably play over 20 minutes regardless. Making him a fine play. He's a really good point per minute guy. The price went down, so I think Jalen Smith is a solid play, even if Tyrese Halliburton plays or doesn't play. Isaiah Jackson will play the backup 5, probably plays around 15 minutes in play for GPPs, but here's where I like quite a bit, especially if Tyrese Halliburton is out. So if TJ McConnell starts, he's going to be one of the best value plays on the slate. He would look absolutely phenomenal. And then Nembhard, I think he would be a really good value play too. I think both these guys are going to get a lot more minutes and a lot more usage. I think both are too cheap. So assuming Tyrese Halliburton is out, there is a lot to like on the Pacers side here. I don't think I'd really get to anything else though. On the Minnesota side, so Tyrese Maxey, unfortunately, is going to be out, so it's just going to be Embiid by himself going up against this Minnesota team. So, obviously, Embiid hasn't been like, I don't know how to explain it. Usually in the past, I wouldn't play centers against Embiid, but I think it's more fine this year. I think, I think with how he's been playing, especially with how Cat plays and with how Rudy Gobert plays, I think I prefer Cat because I don't think Embiid is good on the perimeter. So I would definitely prefer Cat, but I think they're more in play than I would have inclined to last year. Usually I would never play bigs against Embiid, but I think this year that's completely different. So you guys know what I'm gonna say about Minnesota though. I don't like anyone. The usage is split. They're all in play for GPPs. In my one lineup, it's extremely hard for me to get to them. But if you're going to play 150 lineups, I would definitely get exposure to some of them. I will go through it though. I think point per dollar, my favorite is going to be Cat. Like I said, I like how they're like they're running their offense, and nobody's going to be able to guard Cat on the Sixers. Absolutely nobody. You know, So I think 8.7K is a fair price for Cat. I think point per dollar, he might be my favorite play on the Timberwolves side of things. So I think Cat's fine. Anthony Edwards had a massive game last game. He might be the most popular after a massive game, so that makes me like Cat even more for GPPs. Just be careful. He is extremely up and down. Has a floor. Has a very low floor, but the ceiling is there if you want to play him for GPPs. Rudy Gobert, I think this price is fair. Now that the price has gone down, I don't hate it. Probably plays it for 30 minutes. You know, good rebounder, good defender. And I think he's more. I think he's more in play now with Embiid. With how Embiid's playing this year than the past few years. D'Lo at 6.1K is just there for me. Like, if you want to play him, I'm completely okay with it, but not going to go out of my way to play him. And then I think my second favorite play might be Jaden McDaniels. Just be careful. Jaden McDaniels is always in foul trouble, but this guy does have a ceiling if he can stay out of foul trouble. Like, he has a massive ceiling if he can stay out of foul trouble. And we're playing for ceiling, right? We don't care about floor. We don't care about foul trouble. 4.7K. This guy has a ceiling to absolutely break the slate. So I kind of like Jaden McDaniels for value. Really good rebounder, okay scorer, good defender, gonna play big minutes. Not the best spot, but yeah, I think he's a perfectly fine value play, and he is an absolutely massive upside. Slow-mo probably going to play around 20 minutes, a playable value, decent point per minute guy. I think you could do worse. And then I don't think I'm getting to anyone else. So yeah, Sixers just my team's fucked, man. Harden's out. Tyrese Maxey is going to be out for a while. We have to monitor their Tobias Harris news. Just my team's absolutely fucked. We'll go over both ways with Harris in or out. If Harris is in, I still absolutely love Joel Embiid, 11.2K with no Maxey. Just it's going to be the Joel Embiid show. I don't care about the matchup up against Gobert. I think Embiid looks phenomenal. Absolutely love Embiid on the slate. Tobias Harris, if he plays, I think makes for a really good play at 6.9K too. It's just going to be these two leading the way. Would really like him. Tobias Harris is probably going to play close to 40 minutes too. I think Melton would be a fine play, and then assuming Shake Milton starts, I think he would be one of the best value plays on the slate. This price tag is just too cheap. Shake Milton's a good point per minute guy. He's going to handle the ball. Would absolutely love Shake Milton, assuming he starts. Daniel House probably goes back to the bench if Tobias Harris is back. Jordan Niang probably plays, around 25-ish minutes. Even with Tobias Harris back, with Maxey out, I think they go to more Niang. I don't hate it for GPPs. Not going to get to PJ Tucker. And not going to get to Thibault. House, we'll see. I don't know how much he would play with Tobias Harris back. He'd definitely go back to the bench. But I think he'd definitely still be in play. I think he would definitely still get minutes with Maxey out. If Tobias Harris is out, though, that's where just like Joel Embiid smash play. Melton would look great. Niang would become a good value play. He'd probably have to play over 30 minutes. Still not going to get to Thibault. Shake Milton would be an absolute smash. Daniel House probably starts. He would be a good value play. So yeah, a lot to like with the Sixers, regardless of Tobias Harris news. So absolutely love the Sixers tomorrow on the Utah side of things. So I'm sure if you guys played the Utah Jazz the other day, you are absolutely happy for them tonight because they all absolutely smashed at no ownership. So not much for me in this game. I think this is my least favorite game to target. Portland has been very good defensively. Their wing defense has been phenomenal. Just their defense in general has just been scary, which is crazy for me to say because usually Portland was never a good defensive team. But yeah, not much stands out to me. Like Markkanen, Clarkson, Mike Conley, they're in play for GPPs. Vanderbilt, I'm super happy for him after going for 16 fantasy points. Pretty much goes for a triple-double tonight, but it's playable. They do have a ceiling. Kelly Olynyk, point per dollar might be my favorite play on this team, but he's always in foul trouble. So not much on the Utah Jazz. Kelly Olynyk, probably my favorite play. Sexton, his minutes have been down and all over the place. Can't really go there. I think Malik Beasley is a fine value at 4.3K. They want to give this guy minutes, close to 30 minutes, pretty much every game here. Malik Beasley is a very talented scorer, so I think Malik Beasley is a pretty good value play. And then THT's been playing around 15 minutes, playable value. He'll average about a fantasy point per minute, but Yeah, I think my favorite plays on Utah are definitely Kelly Olynyk and Malik Beasley for sure. And then on the Portland side of things, not much for me. Like Dame, fine for GPPs, but outside of that, not much else. Jeremy Grant finally came back down to earth. I called it. Not going to go there. I think he's way overpriced. Simons is priced about right for me. Nurkic back. Nurkic back. Only played 25 minutes though, so it's hard for me to go there. Josh Hart, I think, is overpriced at 6.5K there. Can't go there. Justice Winslow's back. He played 28 minutes last game. A playable value. Not going to get to Eubanks with Winslow and Nurk back, so it's hard to go there. Yeah, not just nothing. And then, can the Spurs stop being on slate? I hate the fucking Spurs, dude. Keldon Johnson's probable. Jakob Poeltl is questionable. Devin Vassell is questionable. Just this team pisses me off. Doug McDermott probable. So if everyone is in, then it's just the main guys for me that I'm going to get to. Keldon, Jakob Poeltl, Trey Jones, Devin Vassell. Devin Vassell definitely being my favorite. I think that price tag's too cheap. I don't understand why he went from 7,100 to 6,200. I just don't understand it. So if everyone's in, I think Devin Vassell is a pretty good play. He would be my favorite, but the other three would all be firmly in play as well. Sochan would be a playable value. Richardson playable value, but not going to be going out of my way to play these guys when we have a much, much better value. Now, if they are both out, then Keldon Johnson's going to have to lead the way offensively. He would look like a pretty good play. Trey Jones would look good. These two guys would have to lead the way offensively, have insane usage rates with like both of these two main guys. And then we're going to have some value here. So Charles Bassey probably starts for Jakob Poeltl if he is out and would become one of the best value plays on the slate. Would absolutely love Charles Bassey. Josh Richardson probably plays a little bit more. I think he'd be a okay value play. I think Sochan would be an okay value play, but I'd really, really want to just get to Charles Bassey if Jakob Poeltl's out. And then you could see more minutes for Isaiah Roby, who would be a fine value play in my opinion at the flat min. Actually, I think it'd be a pretty good value play at the flat min if Jakob Poeltl's out. He'd probably play the backup 5. Katie Bates-Diop would be playable, but yeah, really, if they're both out, Keldon would look good, Trey Jones would look good, Charles Bassey would look phenomenal, Isaiah Roby would look like a pretty good play, and then Sochan, Richardson, Katie Bates-Diop are playable. If I had to rank the other value outside of the ones that I really like, with Sochan, Richardson, Katie Bates-Diop, I think I'd go Richardson 1, Sochan 2, Katie Bates-Diop 3. I think Katie Bates-Diop really gets a boost when Keldon's out, but so Keldon being in kind of hurts that. So on the Clipper side, it's really hard for me to get to anyone here. I think Zubac is my favorite play. He played 40 minutes in regulation last game. I do like the spot here up against the Spurs, especially if he's going to go up against Charles Bassey. So I kind of like Zubac for GPPs, especially if he's going to be low owned. Can't get to Kawhi at this price tag on a minutes limit. Paul George with Kawhi back is appropriately priced for me. Marcus Morris overpriced with them back. John Wall at 5.8K I think is priced about right. Reggie Jackson had a massive game last game. Outside of Zubac, he probably would be the guy I'd go to. I think he's an okay play at that price tag. Norman Powell at 4K, I don't think we need to do it on this slate, and I don't think I'm going to get to anyone else. So I hope this video helped you guys out, and I will talk to you tomorrow.